back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here in our studios in the Capital Region International Airport. And we're going to go across town. Mark McDaniel, the president and CEO of Cinnaire Corporation, is going to join us right now. And you at Cinnaire are taking care of the Great Lakes region and a lot of the Mid-Atlantic region as well. And Mark, not only welcome, but why don't we give everybody a little refresher to what Cinnaire is?
Sure. Well, first of all, we celebrated our 30th anniversary last year, which is, I didn't ever have a vision we'd be here 30 years, but we did. But through that time, we're now recognized as a community development finance institution, where we have a lending company that does community development lending and multifamily lending with Fannie, Freddie, and FHA loans. We have a syndication company that does all of our housing tax credit partnership investments. And we have a nonprofit development company that's doing development in distressed communities, helping build capacity of local emerging developers and local community development corporations.
Well, you know, along those lines, taking care of those who need help, charity is a big part of your culture there at Cinnaire. Let's talk to one of your favorites and one of your better ones. Pancakepalooza.
Yeah,
that's that this year.
that is such a fun event, but it's very personal with my wife and I, and of course it fits into what we do every day here. And Haven House is a shelter for homeless families. It's very unique that they don't separate the families when they come in, and at the end of their stay, they will end up in permanent housing. Which is a wonderful thing. Yeah. Very successful. They've been around for 40 years. I've been involved with them for 12 now, and we have their biggest fundraiser is this Pancakepalooza, where it's a competition. We have star servers, and we do performances and goofy things. But this year, I raised I raised just right around $50,000. Overall, we brought in $85,000, which means there's 85 families that will find their way through Haven House into permanent housing, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I don't think people realize the ramifications of how many families do get busted up when we're trying to make accommodations for it. That's one of our biggest problems at the immigration borders. Hey, tell us a little bit about the CARH Scholarship Foundation.
The Council for Affordable Rural Housing. It used to be, when I was very involved in this group in my younger days as a developer, and it was known as CRUD, Council for Rural Housing Development. So, but I've had a long relationship with them. I've gotten back involved with them now again, and they've formed this college scholarship fund for kids or residents in these rural development deals that we develop and help finance. So at the last meeting, unbeknownst to anybody, I got up and we provided $30,000 towards their scholarship fund for this year, which was a big part of my way of giving back to that group that meant so much to me as a young person, getting in development. And all the things that you were able to give me, I wanted to give something back.
Well, and you do that on a daily basis, as a matter of fact. One great example is your involvement in the MLK Day and Dr. Martin Luther King Commission in mid-Michigan. You've been involved there. I have a feeling if you weren't involved, they might cancel the event because you've been so important to it.
It's another one of those very special. It's very personal. I've been on a lifelong journey in regards to race relations and equity and inclusion, and this is a way for me to give back. And we provide college scholarships to students. It was so nice of the commission a few years ago. They named the scholarship fund after me, and then I added a person with James Butler because he was, one of the originals of the commission, and he was very driven by youth and youth education. And so we share the scholarship fund together now.
Well, it does a lot of good, touches a lot of people, and there's nothing like education to break that cycle and get people back up on top, you know? So tell me, and I don't want to mispronounce this, the Ubuntu fund?
Ubuntu Fund.
Ubuntu.
Yes, yes.
Tell
It's
us about that.
yeah, it's quite the story. You know, after George Floyd, you know, there's this big push of all, you know, insurance companies and major banks, and everybody was calling, we want to put money into a fund to support, you know, emerging developers in distressed communities. But they wanted the same rate of return that they got on their normal deal. They didn't, you know, they wanted the same financials from people. So we said, no, we're not going to be part of a PR thing. If we're going to do anything, it's going to be with institutions that understand what we have to do. We were able to get 4 banks, major banks lined up. They put $55 million in as an investment. They adhered to our guidelines that required them to invest. And we've got that fund is fully committed with developments in Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Now it's a really, really great story.
Oh, you guys are always doing great things. Mark McDaniel, President and CEO of Cinnaire in Lansing, taking care of not just Michigan, but the Great Lakes region and Mid-Atlantic regions as well. I'm Chris Holman. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network.